there were certain techniques in painting where you can create an impression which is not real.
An illusion.
Yeah, an illusion, yeah. And when you talked about was that vibrate, I think there was also one part of the painting where you choose this technique in a way.
Trompe l'oeil, yeah. That's a good point, Christine. I'm glad you brought that up because I didn't get into that a minute ago. But yeah, and this is another thing that I do that I don't think was really done historically, but there's areas of the painting that are collaged on literally. And there's other areas where I kind of fake that, where it's an illusion, or you'd say trompe l'oeil. So lots of times over the years, it would look like I'm taping a piece of paper onto the surface of the painting, but it actually wasn't paper or tape, it was paint. And there's like that painting behind you that you're talking about. I know you're at a stationary position, so it's hard for you to move the camera around, but there are areas where you might see something that looks like duct tape or masking tape. It's not tape, it's actually just paint made to look like tape. And I like playing with those different ideas. It actually, and the fact that the paintings feel pretty spontaneous and gestural and slapdash, I like subverting that idea, that sort of historical abstract expressionist or neo-expressionist idea, by trompe l'oeiling these other things. It takes, conceptually, it takes the work to a different place, where you're not just talking about being an impulsive, emotional, non-analytical conduit or channeling something like there was like Greenberg would have talked about around the abstract expressionists, but you're also you're appropriating that along with all these other ideas in a much more analytical way. And I'm very interested in taking these sort of different ideas and how they were written about and how they kind of felt, and subverting them, you know. And that's why the paintings look the way they look. And I do wish I want to talk about that more in the future, and I want there to be more written about that idea in my work, because it's actually really, really important, because I really am sort of subverting a lot of different histories that I had an affinity for in my work, those histories being early to mid 20th century painting and ideas around painting. And yeah, so it's really important for me to sort of what's the word I'm looking for, just play with what's real and what's not real.
That's what I wanted to say. It's playful. So playing is very, yeah, it's important for artists, I think, and to be in a process of playing with tradition and with material and with the ingredients of the composition. Of course, it's a very serious. It can be very serious, the play, but nonetheless, it's playful, and yeah,
yeah. I mean, I think it's really important for me to hold on to a sense of humor and playfulness in the work, even if it's not overtly humorous or overtly playful. There's always some indirect notion of humor or playfulness going on in my work. I philosophically think, I've said this before a lot, if you lose your sense of humor in life, you're kind of screwed. Like, you know, life can be a little ridiculous or difficult at times, and you got to be able to hold on to your sense of humor. And sometimes in my work, that comes out in the way things are made, obviously, or you see something kind of cartoonish, which historically is, I mean, you think cartoons have been used in lots of ways, but being funny is one of the main ways. Sometimes my color palettes are meant to be kind of playful, you know, or light. So there's always some direct or indirect playfulness or humor that I'm trying to get across in the work. You know, it's important to me.
It's important, which leads me to the great poster of the show. We had the poster on the display outside the gallery, and we've got several copies which were signed by the artist, and I think it's really great. The poster I like a lot. It's
I love the poster. Yeah.
and I'll show it to you now. Just a second. So
Yeah, cool. I think it turned out great. I think it turned out really good. And this is one of the newer pieces because of the way I've used the spray paint in there. That's one other thing I'll point out really quickly is
yeah.
I've in recent work I've sort of started collaging with spray paint elements, which is something I'd never done before, and I really hadn't seen a whole lot of it that way. I back in 2007, 2008, I was actually directly tagging some of my work with one or two spray paint marks directly on the surface, and I hadn't really done much with that in many, many years, just because I'd felt like spray paint had a lot of baggage. And I was kind of getting, to be honest with you, I was probably getting lumped in one or two reviews with like graffiti writers and graffiti, which isn't at all where I'm coming from. And so I took a break from it. But then I was looking at different things as I was making my way around the world, looking at art, or around, not the world, but my immediate circle. And it seemed like the right time to try and sort of start appropriating that again in an unusual way, which is what's been happening in my work for the last year and a half. And I really love that piece you chose. Partially because of that, I love that piece you chose for that poster. I hope people grab them. I signed them all while I was in Berlin.
Yeah, so it's an edition of 50, and there are still some available. So
I guess they'll email you. They're not on the website. They will email you to place orders. So,
yeah.
And they'll go to the website and email you from www.galeriekremers.
Yeah, there is a contact form on the.
But the website is galeriekremer.de, right?
Galerie-kremers.de. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Also possible to send me an Instagram direct message, and yeah, so.
And what's your Instagram? Your Instagram is Galerie_Kremers.
Kremers, right. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Okay, Howard. So thank you for the interview. There will be some more days maybe we can we will extend the exhibition a bit longer until the 15th, but of course I'll post that in time.
Cool. So I'll let my people know too that it's being extended. That's great.